welcome to all the participants and also to our distinguished speaker for today, Nipul Chandiwala. Uh, Sama Audit brings a series of complimentary webinars titled Analytics Wednesday. Today is the 17th webinar in that series. Today's topic is Continuous Control Monitoring and Analytics by the CFO's perspective by Nipul Chandiwala, our distinguished speaker. Uh, Before I formally introduce the speaker, I would like to say that this webinar is supported by the Government of Canada Trade Commissioner Service, and also Sama Audit has been at the forefront in the last 20 years to provide solutions for analytics, for continuous control monitoring, for automation, for auditors and finance professionals across the country and in this SARC region. Now, the flagship product is, of course, IDEA, the analytics tool. You have LSA, which is the continuous control monitoring client server solution. You have Smart Exporter, which is the ETL, which is a direct import solution for ETL for SAP. You've got Casio working papers, which are the automated solutions for the entire life cycle of a statutory audit being carried out by external auditors, by the CA fraternity, and many other such solutions. We also have training programs, the e-learning modules where people can access, the Sama e-learning center, where you can find e-learning modules on 101 IDEA, 102, and fraud analytics, which can be a self-study course at your own pace. Now, I think with this small introduction, I'll just formally introduce Nipul Chandiwala. First of all, again, very big thank you to him for having accepted to speak to all of us, spare his valuable time and speak to all of us. He's the CFO of Daksher India Private Limited, a leading global freight forwarding company based out of Germany. He is responsible for the entire finance and accounts portfolio. He has 23 years of experience, including 17 years in freight forwarding industry. His major areas of responsibility include strategy, execution, treasury management, forex, statutory and internal audits, MIS, risk management framework, corporate governance, compliances, budgeting, forecasting, mergers, acquisition. Of course, he's a commerce graduate and a chartered accountant, and he's worked in various organizations at senior level position, including in India and abroad. He has worked in the space of international logistics business, including Agility Private Limited, UPS, Equilines on All Cargo Limited Group, and currently working with Daksher India Private Limited as Director of Finance South and Southeast Asia APEC region. A very accomplished professional, a very down-to-earth human being, and a great friend. So, and a very practical person who always wants good for his organization wherever he works and good for the people who work with him. So I think with that introduction, let me hand it over to you, Nipul, so that you can enlighten us on continuous control monitoring and analytics.
So thank you, Deepji, for a wonderful introduction. Probably I say that this is one of the great introduction in whichever seminars I have being a panelist for that thing. So thanks for that thing, and a very warm welcome to the participants, and thanks to Sama Audit, particularly Deepji and Manish for allowing me to really do a presentation on the continuous control monitoring and analytics, and also sharing my experience with reference to the Daksher India Private Limited, currently where I'm working since last 13 years. Of course, I have a varied experience, but I think the core of, as we all know, the core of all the chartered accountants are the compliances, assurance, and the audits part. So this is one of the core area. And I would love to share my experience with you all. I would love to share the current trend also, what the organizations are looking for, what the corporates are looking for. And in particular, when we talk about multinational companies like ours, Daksher being a Germany head office, headquarter company, it becomes more pertinent and more critical and more important, I would say, that they put a lot of emphasis on the compliances, particularly with reference to the local regulations, local laws, legal requirements, and the other compliances in that respect. So with this background, I would like to commence my presentation. And I will go with what is the current trend from the CFO's perspective point of view. Being a CFO, as we all know, being part of the board of directors also. So, they are more and more responsible to the various stakeholders in that sense. So I think the role of a CFO has changed substantially what it used to be when we become a chartered accountant. And what we see today is that they play a very, very catalyst role as far as their profile is concerned. Having said this, DG, I'm not able to. Okay, thanks. Okay, so let me first put what are the challenges every organizational, whether in India or multinational companies or globally, are facing currently. We have seen in last many years that the complexity of a business increases substantially. There are various cross-border transactions, there are various regulations locally, or different regulations locally. We have seen in the last couple of years that how the disruption can really ruin the results of the organization and put them on the edge, in that case. So I think one of the biggest challenge for the board of directors and as well as for the shareholders and the company is the complexity and the disruption what we have seen in the recent past. The future, as we all know, the uncertainties have increased, and I think more and more professionals are now really accepting that we have to live within these uncertainties, and within these uncertainties, how do you perform, how the company performs, and how do you really manages your affairs of the organization in the best possible manner. I think this is one of the key area for all the senior C-suite executives. Increased regulations and compliances. I think we have seen a number of regulations are being changed. The number of new additional compliances are being put in nowadays. And, it is becoming more and more important and critical that, as a CFO or as a part of a board, we need to ensure that we comply with all the regulations and the compliances. So I'll come to the number of changes which we have recently seen. The Indian organization will have to really comply and will have to mitigate that thing, and how this continuous control auditing processes will help us in mitigate this risk profile. Technology redundancy. I think we all know today that the technology is really moving in a much faster way. So the old technology become redundant in very few years' time. So today we talk about number of technological advancements which is flowing in the market, and if we do not keep the pace with this kind of a technology, our business becomes redundancy. So most of the businesses today are dependent on the technology today. So this is one of the important area which all the board of directors are really focusing as of today. So from CFO perspective, this is also very critical and important that organization is keeping a pace with the technology redundancy, if at all anything, in which organization they are working for. The financial management, one of the most critical and in the lifeline of any business today is a cash flow management. We all know what happened during the 2020 pandemic time, and how the financial management and the cash flow situation has emerged as a very important and a critical topic for the top management as well. Also, the business management and how the other financial, the asset monetization or the upkeeping and the maintenance of the assets become a more challenging task during the last couple of years. And I think this is also one of the critical area for every organization. One more important area for the multinational companies, and now we can even say that the Indian multinational companies are currently having these challenges, is managing the culture and ethical differences. As we all know, we have seen a number of cultural differences between the two countries, or even in India, we are seeing today that the culture is different from the west to the south and from the south to the north. I think this is very important that when we have a a business which is spread across the country or spread across the globe, how do you manage the cultural and ethical differences? This is one of the challenging areas for every management, for every stakeholders of the organization. So this is one more area where board of directors have to really take care of that. Few more challenges, the leadership pipelines and talent development. I think we all know, we are reading in the newspapers that how the C-suite demand is there currently is really going up in India also. I think there is a dearth of good talent within the country as well as outside the countries. And, the expectations from the management to have a absolutely fine-tuned leadership, I think this is the need of an hour in that case. So a lot of focus goes into the leadership pipelines and how do you manage the talent within the organization. We have seen the IT industry is currently facing a lot of attrition rates, and which is gone for certain companies gone up to even 35-36%, so which is substantially on a higher side. Having said this, how do you manage the talent within that bandwidth is very, very critical and important for you to serve to your customers, because more and more churning happens, more and more attrition happens, it will become more and more difficult. We all know the Cognizant have to give up few of the contracts just because they didn't have a talent pool available with them. And the attrition rate is so high that they couldn't able to manage the client's expectation for that thing. So this is also one of the critical area which the CFO has to really manage it, or maybe, you can ensure that, how do you manage? So you should have a talent management program within the organization, and the board is really focusing this as a very, very critical item as well. Data analytics and data security. We talk about lot of things about in data analytics and a data security. I think this is this area which we will be in this particular session. We will be focusing on the data analytics as well as the data security. We all know the laws currently on the data security in Europe and how difficult it is to collect the data and maintain the data. I think India is also moving on the same line, and the current laws in the current frame, it is so different and so stringent, I would say, that it goes beyond the expectations or beyond the control of a management locally. Of course, currently what we are hearing that, the government is in process of fine-tuning this data security law. But at the end of the day, I believe that all the Indian organization will be going in the same way, the way the Europe has evolved over last few years, particularly on the data security side. The data analytics goes without saying that the technology provides us a facility, or rather I would say it's a necessity, that every organization is currently analyzing the data for their business continuity plan as well. It provides you in ample information which you need to really deep dive. You need to look it in a very, 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 very prospective way, in a very, very deeper way, just to make sure that you are on the right track. Any deviation in the data, or you need to be really, really paying an attention to that thing. So this is another area where the board of directors are currently really paying a huge attention as well. Productivity, I think we all know that India had a low productivity in the past, and we were struggling for the productivity improvement program for various reasons, I can say, right from the talent management to the processes to the technology, etc. Today, I would say that we have all the tools available at our end. And the productivity improvement what we have seen in the country, I think this is at par with our global standards. I think it is important that we all continue focusing on the productivity aspect as well. There are a lot of expectations from multiple stakeholders. Today we have if your company is a listed company, there is a lot of expectations from the shareholders, from the creditor side, from the customer side, even from the government side, employee side, and of course, goes without saying, the shareholders expect a good, decent return on their investment. So the ROI, ROC, etc., are are becoming a given thing. So how do you manage it in this kind of an uncertain times? The expectation from the stakeholders is equally critical for any board in that case. And last but not the least, I would like to highlight the maintaining the brand reputation. We have seen today a small disruption or a small news or a small certain how it get disrupting the brand reputation of any organization. So every board, every stakeholder are basically maintaining their brand reputations at its core in that. All the activities, all the actions that they do, I think the focus is brand reputation is equally important for the board of directors. So these are certain organizational challenges that we are facing today, and we need to really address those things. Coming back to I would just like to highlight some survey outcome by the CXOs for the internal audit, which has happened over last few years, you can say. So what are the key highlights of this? I'm sorry. Uh, okay. What are the highlights of this survey? Is that the survey says that there is a value gaps between identifying and mitigating the key risk areas. So the CXO thinks that the internal auditors should really. I think there are some noises. I would request to mute if you are not speaking. Someone, please. Hello. Okay. So identifying and mitigating the key risk areas. This is very important for any team, and today the board of directors depends heavily on the internal audit functions to mitigate all these organizational challenges what I have just discussed. But the survey says that there are some few gaps which need to be addressed at some point of time.
देखिए background noise किसी का अच्छा है. We mute everybody normally, no?
Yes.
By default, everyone is muted, right? So the background noise किसी का आएगा. No, he's off.
Is okay? Okay, thank you. Okay. So, efficiency and effectiveness of the organizational processes, I think this is a very critical role function of the internal audit. I think we once again started, Manish, so I'm not sure. Okay, thanks. Okay, so efficiency and effectiveness of the organizational processes is also one of the key functions where, the internal auditors are expected to really bring it on table that whether all the processes are efficient and effective, commensurate with the size of the organization, commensurate with the requirements of a particular functions, etc., etc. So quite critical, quite important in that case. Sustainability of revenue streams and the business continuity. I think we all know the business continuity is the most critical aspect for any board of directors, and internal audit for a team can really raise the bar, I would say, to ensure that there is a business continuity and there is a sustainability of a revenue stream. So any disruption can be highlighted on a timely basis so that the board can decide accordingly. They can take appropriate actions, or they can change or they can fine tune the whole business model just to make sure that, there is a business continuity plan. Effectiveness of the IT system, I did spoke about that thing. We will also discuss this going forward, this area. Data analytics along with data protection. Yes, this is also one of the key areas which has come out of this survey. That the one of the function where the internal auditor can play a very critical role. An alignment of a compliances, legal and risk management function. I think this is the most critical function for any CFOs in any of the organization. You can say whether you are in a manufacturing or a service industry or an NGOs also, that there has to be a compliances, legal and risk management framework. This is highly critical from the CFO's perspective point of view, and which helps the organization on a business continuity plan as well. Now, if you want to achieve all these things, what is that expectation from the CFO side as well as from the board side? Is nothing less than but a continuous control, monitoring, and analysis, which is a domain of an internal audit function. That's what I as a CFO, or we as a board of directors, we feel that the internal audit function or an internal audit team can play a major role here. That if there is a process, or there is a automated process which gives you a control monitoring triggers in that case, and provides you an analytics on a regular and an ongoing basis, on a real-time basis, this is what is expectation. This is what is expected from this internal audit evolving function or evolving profile, I would rather say. Okay, I've just highlighted, though I'm working in a private company, but when you look at the listed companies where the audit committee is a legal requirement. So I just thought that highlighting this also will give a different perspective for those who are working in a listed company or listed organization. The highly critical part over here is an overall coverage to mitigate organizational risk and governance processes. So every audit committee is expecting that the internal audit team has to mitigate the organizational risk, and there has to be a proper coverage to ensure that the governance processes are well in place. The responsiveness and the flexibility in an audit plan. So as we all know, there is always a quarter-on-quarter review. Results has to be disclosed as per the SEBI guidelines. So the internal audit function has to be responsive and flexible in their audit plan. So this is one of the critical area which most of the organization has realized that thing, and it is one of the requirement from the audit committee side as well. Technology usage and its effectiveness. I think technology is a backbone of any organization now. If you want to achieve anything, I think we cannot do it without the technology side. The digitalization drive across the world after this COVID-19 phase, I think it is so rapid, so fast, and those organizations who were left behind prior to 2019 or prior to 2020 for India, I think they are really catching up now in a very, very speedier way. So goes without saying, technology is the most critical aspect of any kind of a continuous control monitoring or an analytics process. Value addition to the key stakeholders, we touch base that thing in the previous slide. Communication and openness between the audit committee and the internal audit team. This is also one of the critical area that there has to be a continuous communication between the two, and there has to be an openness. So any findings needs to be bring to the notice of the audit committee, or if there is an expectation from the audit committee, it has to be communicated in very, very effective way to the internal audit team. I think this area needs a lot of improvement, particularly for the Indian organization. And I think we are in that evolving, or we are in that phase whereby we will see that this function or this particular expectation will also have a maturity standards in place, you can say. The standards to follow. We all know that ICAI international standards which requires to be followed by every organization. This is possible when we have specific processes is in place. And I think this is also one of the critical requirement on the compliance side. Nurturing and developing talent within the internal audit team. This is one of the key functional areas what audit committee feels that the internal audit team should have these things. Who are going to really monitor the continuous control monitoring and analytic functions at the end of the day. So okay, what is the relevance? I will just take it up from here. These continuous control monitoring and analytics and the future of internal audit. I think we are going to see, or we are already seeing, that there is a paradigm shift in the role of an internal auditor. Goes without saying, all the board of directors from the CFO's perspective, we expect a very highly efficient internal audit functions, and the role which they are going to play is to help the board of directors in achieving all the organizational challenges which we have discussed in the earlier slides. So what are the 5 key expectations from the internal audit team, particularly on the CCMA related requirement? Is an assurance we talked about. We will deal in detail. Technology and tools, data analytics and protections, advisory and anticipation. So these are the 5 key expectations from the CFO side, from the board of directors sides, from the internal audit team, or from the assurance team, what we call. On the assurance side, this is the core function, still remains as it is for an internal auditor. I think internal auditor expectancy, it is an expecting that, they should have a fairly good understanding about the business and its nuances. I think this is the most critical one. Looking at the complexity of the businesses today, understanding of the business and its nuances is far more critical for anyone to really produce or bring the efficiency into the system, or provide a qualitative productivity and an output. CFO needs an accurate and real-time information about the effectiveness and efficiency of the operational processes and policies. I think this is, though it is a technology driven, but I think this remains the core, because whatever you're expecting, unless and until you have a very efficient and operational processes and policies, no system you put it up gives you the desired results in that case. So very important area. On the compliances side, I think it goes without saying now, it's given thing that, the 100% compliances, there's no less, there's no more in that case. So 100% compliances with regard to the continuously evolving regulatory requirements. We have all seen the regulatory requirement increases day by day. There are quite a lot of additional disclosure requirements in the audit reports, in the quarterly reports, or even when you talk about a private limited company, the stakeholders or the board of directors is expecting more and more information. So it is equally important that, all this regulatory requirement is being mitigated 100%. So this is one of the fundamental, or one of the core to the CFO. The proof of concept, the automate confirmation process. I think this is when you set a right process in place. All these are part of the continuous control, monitoring, and assurance related expectations from the board of directors and from the CFO in particular. The financial statement integrity, one of the topmost area. We all know that now, the fraud and leakages are part of the day-to-day affairs. We have seen so much of a fraud, so many leakages which happens. You talk about a data or a fund getting siphoned off. How do you control and how do you manage those things? And how do you ensure that your financial statement integrity is being taken care pretty well? I think this is critically important, very important. The revenue mix and the cost. Of course, these are all for the effectiveness of the business analytics, in that sense, that what kind of a revenue mix you are having, what kind of a cost it is having, is there any possibility to improve the cost, is there a possibility to improve the revenue mix? I think this is a continuous process, and CFOs plays a very important role in this particular area. Laser sharp focus on the organizational risk horizon. What is expected is there has to be a clear focus on the organizational risk horizon, which ensures that the going concern principle is being taken care pretty well. I think this is what we have seen in 2020 because of the COVID-19 situation. Quite a lot of companies or the auditors are questioning the going concern principle for that organization. And this becomes a very critical principle for the auditors as well as for the CFOs in those organizations. So you need a laser sharp focus that how do you mitigate the risk horizon, which challenges the going concern principle and which also internally affects the brand reputation and which needs to be taken care. So with this COVID-19 situation, I think this is one of the hot topic is being discussed at the board level, is being discussed with the auditors and the partners at the highest level, you can say. Sorry. Okay, technology and tools. I think we all know. I think that the real time information is the key today. So unless and until there is you embrace technology and go digital. So the digitalization is the most critical area which most of the companies are focusing today. And whether you talk about the companies, the multinational companies who already had the technology in place, I think work from home culture has changed many things. And there is a lot of concerns about the data security, the data transparency when you have a work from home kind of processes needs to be changed accordingly. Now, in this situation, whether your technology is capable enough to make this kind of changes and ensures the reasonable assurance to the board that there is a proper security, or there is a proper the quality of the data, the quality of the assurances on a real time basis. I think this is most critical one which we have observed in last couple of years time. So when we say the COVID-19 is accelerating the digital transformation of almost every business sector, the internal auditor can be an enabler. So we have seen in our organization also that the internal auditor has taken up this processes, the digitalization, whether the digitalization efforts are being effective in its true sense, and whether we need to make some kind of a changes. So this is an area where we have seen and we do see that such kind of a disruption as and when it comes up. We need to be prepared for the technology solution provided by this technology. The work from home concept is going to be there as what we see in last few years. So I think that this will be, even in the next few years, we will see that there will be a hybrid system. That is what the choices of the employees also and the choices of the companies also. And if that is a scenario, how do you have a proper assurance mechanism, proper processes, and effectiveness of the controls in place is equally critical and important. What you need a responsive team, talent management. So we'll touch base that. Effective management of culture and ethical differences, I already touched base that thing. Okay, coming back on the data analytics and data protection. We have seen the cybersecurity and crisis management a huge threat for every management. Even before COVID-19, this threat is quite serious in that sense that there is a lot of cybersecurity concerns which has come up on a forefront here. There are a lot of companies have faced tremendous troubles, or they face even sometimes a business continuity. So it becomes absolutely crucial and critical for the board and for the CFO to ensure that how to protect the data, how to protect the certain key informations which is core to the organization, so that the business disruptions or the business continuity is being protected pretty well. We all know about the CAT tool, BI tools. I will not go more in detail. I think Sama has done exceedingly good job on this front. I must say that thing. The IDEA tool or a Caseware monitor. By the way, we were using the Caseware monitor before we move on the global IT platform. I will touch base that thing later on. But one of the most effective tool, I must say here, in order to ensure that there is 100% compliances of various processes. So there are a lot of tools available in the market. There are a lot of RPA is a new norms today. We talk about the robotic processes are critical. The artificial intelligence is equally critical and important for any organization and also for the CFOs. I think these are the critical areas. These are the most important aspect which the CFO has to really look at when we talk about a continuous control monitoring and analytics. A dashboard, very, very critical. I would say that a regular dashboard, a daily dashboard, weekly dashboard, monthly dashboard, quarterly dashboard. I think this dashboard has become a part of a daily routine affairs, and this is possible only when you have certain tools in place, certain technology in place, a rule-based outcome which is important and which is being put it on an automated basis on the dashboard. One of the critical area for all the CFOs desk today is this, that every day morning you need to see your dashboard, that where do you stand, what are the challenges, what are the issues, so that you can address it on a continuous basis. And that's where, it is very, very important that you should have a very robust technology in place. And also you use the best of the tool, best of the technology tool. I leave it to every CFOs in this case, or every finance heads in this case, that which kind of a technology, what kind of a tool you want to use it in your organization. But surely I can say that the IDEA is one of the topmost tool, and Caseware Monitor is one of the best in the market as of today. Another area on the data analytics and protection side is when you do an outsourcing of any kind of a work. So the third party relationship management, this is another area which is coming up with this BPOs and BPS and other kind of services what we are currently seeing. So when you outsource the services, what kind of an NDAs you should have, what kind of data access and protection you want to provide to the third party from your technology platform, or from your, you can say, a certain critical information which you want to share it with those third parties. I think it is highly important and critical, and CFO plays a very, very important role here in this case. And of course, when we talk about a cross-border or a cross-country transaction, so how do you manage the cultural and ethical issues here? We talk about a late night, let's say if there is a US company who wants to outsource the work to an Indian BPOs, then probably, we need to manage the time zone, we need to manage the cultural differences, we need to manage the ethical differences, etc., etc. So this is a very, very critical area for all the CFOs and all the board of directors when we talk about data analytics and data protection. Data protection point of view, just want to highlight this thing, that we are going to see these things a legal requirement here in India. Today also the government has these things, the data protection law in place under the Information and Technology Act, which is one of the critical area for CFO, because this is an area where a lot of investment is required, actually speaking. So every organization was contemplating whether this is essential or whether this is required as of now. But I think it is getting more and more clear that the data protection is going to be there, and we all have to really ensure that even if there is some cost involved, this is a legal requirement. So how do you mitigate that legal requirement is equally critical. We are also seeing that there is going to be a huge change in the data protection law, and which we are expecting by next year. So we all have to be prepared well in advance that what kind of a regulation is going to come, and how as a CFO function, how are you going to mitigate and ensure that the data protection laws is being respected and is being taken care very seriously by the organization. So that's important and critical. On the advisory role, though we say that the continuous control monitoring and analytics, but I would say that this is predominantly to do with the internal audit function, because they are the enabler for CCMA. So they become the advisory to the CFO, they become the advisory to the board of directors also. So they play a very, very major role in this new evolved, so-called evolved environment, I would say. And more corporates are adding resources, the talents to an internal audit team in the functions, So just to make sure that the board gets enough of an information or a critical information on a timely basis. So the role is a control effectiveness. So they will in an advisory capacity, they will play a control effectiveness role. They will play an assurance by design. So they have to make sure that the software architecture or the software design itself takes care of the assurance. So it's a built-in mechanism to reduce the human intervention. This is the best way to ensure that the assurance is being taken care pretty well. So the internal auditor becomes the change catalyst as far as the CCMA part is concerned. It's also what is the future, CCMA and future of internal audit. So this goes beyond the traditional risk portfolios today. What we see as a CFO, what we see as a board of directors, that the role of an internal auditor has gone beyond the traditional risk portfolios. So it's no more like, you know, you do the routine checks and compliances, whether this is being taken care, but even beyond that thing. So there's a huge amount of an information, huge source of an information available at the hands of an internal auditor, both internal and external. And they have to ensure that how do they manage this information, or how do they analyze this information and put it up to the board of director, which is pertinent, which is more accurate, which is more relevant for the CFOs and for the board of directors. It also helps to anticipate, sensitize the risk. So, for example, you do a customer survey, market trends, new regulations. We have seen e-invoicing, the GSTs, the lockdowns. I think everybody has faced these challenges in the recent past. The geopolitical situations developed over a period of time. Social media, I think social media, how do you manage the social media today is one of the key functions of a CFO. And internal auditors plays a very, very critical role, you know, in this area also, by providing enough of an information to the CFO. So if you don't do this thing, if you don't manage the social media properly, I think there is always a reputation risk, and it may hamper to your brand image as well. So I think very, very, very important area which we are going to see that going forward. This will play a very, very critical role as far as the CFO part is concerned. Risk learning and upgradation, this is an ongoing thing. I think all the CFOs and the internal audit and the whole finance teams today, because by virtue of their profile, they always are the controllers in that respect. So they mitigate the risk. The control of the risk are always on the desk of, always the responsibility of the CFOs in that case. So we need to see that, you know, how do we learn the risk and how do we upgrade ourselves? I think most critical is how do you upgrade yourself, you know? And as I said earlier, the digitalization is the trend. We can't just survive without having a digitalization in place. So, which we are seeing this thing that a lot of companies are investing heavily on the digitalization process. And this is going to continue even for a few more years. So, coming back to Daxure, I would say in our CCMA, a role or a function, I would say, we have in Daxure, we have a global IT platform. Currently the IT server is based out of our German headquarters, you can say, which is a backbone of highly compliant standards, I would say. And when we implemented our system locally here somewhere in 2019, earlier we had another ERP system, which is a local ERP system, which we implemented somewhere in 2010, and it continued till 2019. So in 2019, we have implemented our global IT system, and so we are now on a global IT platform. There are huge, tremendous advantages of going to the global IT platform, which is a common platform for all the network countries within the Daxure network offices, you can say, which has got a very highly compliant standard. So, and the standards and the processes are so robust in that case that no one can circumvent or a short circuit few things, because there are certain mandatory fields, there are certain mandatory requirements, etc., etc., and it's being monitored on a very, very I would say stringent way, I can say. The advantage of that, the high data quality standards, I would say. So the data quality standards are so high. We have hard coded our process setup. Mandatory field helps quality of the data on a real time basis. Of course, there are certain, initially when we have rolled it out, there was quite a lot of pressure, like quite a lot of concerns from the employee side, that earlier they used to complete a particular task in a 10 minutes time. Now they have to spend, let's say, 30 minutes time in that case. But what is the advantage of that thing? The advantage is that you have a very, very robust and a very high quality data in place. Also, there are few additional information which is available, which was not available in the earlier ERP system. Now it is available. So I think there is a win-win situation, and there is a lot of information available. And the being on a global IT platform, I think it helps the company to really improve their data quality standards, and which is, again, as I said, is a prerequisite for any analytics in that case. As I mentioned in my earlier slide, that 100% compliance with reference to increased and evolving regulatory, legal, and tax matters. There are a lot of new regulation which has come in place. I think we are all aware about the new CARO 2020 Schedule 3 changes. I think there is a far-reaching changes in Caro, in Schedule 3, even in CSR. So, everyone has to really ensure that we are compliant under all these new regulatory requirements. We have seen because of this COVID-19, we have seen a sea change in the MSME related requirements and MSME related regulatory compliances. How do you mitigate? How do you manage that thing without having the proper IT system in place? I think this is very, very important, very critical that we, as a CFO fraternity, must ensure that all these compliances, all these new regulations, we have seen the withholding tax related provision changes in last year. There was a relief given by the government. So how do you ensure that your software is being fine-tuned accordingly is again a critical one. The transfer pricing and RPT, the new BEPS regulations puts a lot of thrust on the organization to provide maximum information to ensure that the profit is being fairly distributed or being fairly accounted in the books of accounts. So the related party transaction and the new BEPS standards are equally critical for any CFO in that place. The GST regulation, we have all seen since 2017 when the GST law has come out. Even last year when we were talking about, there are certain sunset clauses, there are e-invoicing requirements under the GST, and there are few critical areas like, you have services you are providing to the EPZs and other exempt categories, things also. How do you deal with the GST in that scenario? I think it is very, very critical and very, very important that in order to have 100% compliances, your system has to be very, very robust, and continuous control monitoring and analytics helps you in this respect. 100% compliances, I think it is absolutely essential, and I would rather say it's a necessary today to have such kind of a tools in place, so that you can ensure or you can sleep comfortably that yes, as a CFO, that my organization is 100% compliance today, and nothing less than that, I can say. So the usage of AI RPA dashboard provides an early signals for any kind of fraud and leakages. I'm not sure how many of you have faced this situation about a fraud or a leakages. There are a lot of, I would say, new ways of committing a fraud is getting evolved in the recent past, you can say, right from an email things to, the very, very structured and highly complex frauds are being happening. How do you mitigate those challenges is one of the real, to be honest with you, it is a real difficult task for any CFO or any board of directors when we talk about this particular topic. And you need to be well ahead of, with the fraudulent person or the organization. And you need to protect the assets of the organization from this fraud and leakages. Okay, risk mitigation. As I mentioned, we had a discussion in Daxter about a going concern and a business continuity plan with our auditors. We have one of the Big Four as our auditing firm, and this has already been discussed at length. And they actually evaluate this principle when they did the last year's audit, So I think, as I mentioned, when the disruptions or the uncertain times, the going concern principle is becoming more critical from the CFO's perspective point of view. And I strongly believe that CCMA really helps us in this respect. So which gives you an early signals and when the trend is changing. So if you want to position yourself vis-a-vis the competitors or in the markets, how do you do that thing without having an information in place? So if there are change in the trend, we are in the business of a logistics. So you all know about this thing that, how the freight rates have shoot up internationally in the recent past over last 1.5 years. And if we do not really align with our customers pretty well, I think the customers are going to lose. So if you want to serve the customer in a best possible manner, we need to have this in place actually. And of course, the cultural and ethical issues are globally, since we being a multinational companies, it is utmost critical for us to really ensure that we manage our cultural and ethical issues pretty well. Productivity, I think we have seen in Daxter that we able to improve our productivity sizably. I think it's a really nice to see that, we are coming at par with our global standards. And India point of view, I think, in spite of having a very, very spread offices across the country, we able to really improve the productivity even during this 2020 COVID time. So this is possible only with reference to having a technology, the software, the processes are in place, and the continuous control, monitoring, and analytics helps us to ensure that our productivity remains at the highest level. And of course, this helps us to mitigate the expectations from various stakeholders. In summary, I would say unprecedented opportunity to enhance value proposition to the management. I would say that the internal audit team today, or the function, what we are looking at from the Daxter point of view, or from the finance function point of view, this is a value proposition, this is a huge opportunity for the finance professional, and this will go a long way. I personally feel that the finance, the CFOs and the senior finance colleagues are going to play a much critical role in the successful story of any organization going forward. Positioning is one of the critical element in the overall governance ecosystem. I think goes without saying that everyone talks about a complete governance ecosystem, and how do you position yourself? I think CFO plays a very important role in this case, and CCMA plays, goes without saying, it's a heart or a core to this governance ecosystem. And yes, time to raise the bar and upgrade. As I mentioned, every finance professional have to upgrade themselves and raise the bar, just in order to ensure that we mitigate and the expectation of every stakeholder. So with this, I'm just ending my presentation. Thank you very much once again to Deepji and Manish, and do let me know if there are any questions. Thank you very much.
I think I request all the participants to put in the questions. I don't see any questions so far, but I think we have a very senior person today. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box or in the Q&A, and then I think we'll certainly take it up. Or if you feel that it is self-explanatory, it's been a very lucid presentation, very nice presentation, and there is no need for questions, no problems. I would request Nipul, if you can give your email ID, you can put it out. I think you can speak about it, or I'll put it in the chat box if you say, so that if anybody wants, they can always contact you on email, so that you can answer anything, if it is convenient to you. So if you give me your email ID, type it in the chat box, or you can type it in the chat box, Nipul.
I just put it.
Yeah, so I think we have nipul.chandiwala@daxter.com. So I think if any of you feel that there is a need to ask questions, you can write to us, or you can write to Nipul directly, and we'll be happy to interact with you or talk to you about the topic, that a great topic, which is the need of the hour for every organization to be taken up by Nipul. And Nipul, from on behalf of Sama Audit Systems Office Private Limited, let me, and as a friend, dear friend, let me thank you very much for this excellent topic and for this excellent exposition, and also explaining this very clearly in such nice terms, and also spending so much time with us today. So I think that's critical, because usually a lot of senior professionals are so caught up in work that usually they don't get time to talk to people and share their experiences, and you have shared the experience in a very transparent fashion. So it is all the more necessary that I thank you from my heart, and thank you on behalf of all the participants. So thanks a lot, Nipul, and to all the participants also for joining us today. And I look forward for all the participants to join us for next week for our next edition of Analytics Wednesday. Thank you, Nipul. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Deepji. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.